Alright, hello everyone. I'm going to be starting out today, actually, with World of Warships here, just because the server for World of Tanks isn't up for the North American server. So, I'll probably get in, a couple battles here with World of Warships, and then NA should be up fairly soon. I was going to play on the European server to start things out. However, since it's a new update, the region, the mod for region changing isn't exactly working. So, World of Warships it is to start with. But I kind of figured something like this would happen. Usually when there's an update, it's pretty close for me to be able to basically stream right away. Usually the server comes back up within like an hour so of me starting, so it's not a surprise that it's taken them a little bit longer. Hello Heinrich and Mario and Randall. Robert, nice to see you guys. I'm doing alright. A little bit tired since I just woke up a little bit ago. But, yeah. We have a team killer on our team. I haven't played World of Warships, though, since the last time you guys saw me play it. I decided to hop into this, just because, I had it set up right away. But if more people would like, since, it's not hard for me to swap over it, I could pop over to World of Warplanes, actually. Oh, I know, it doesn't cost, nobody had to purchase anything to get me into World of Warships here. Hello, Timor, and Leith. I think Lobobo as well is here. But yeah, the server should be up at the very most within, I would guess, like, maybe like a half hour. Not the same account, no, but there are mods to where you can play with the same game client. I've used them before. However, which I completely have not played World of Warships in a while, so this is going to be scary. But yeah, you can use the same game client, but you need different accounts on each server. Trying to actually even remember like how to fire torpedoes, stuff like that. That's how long I haven't played World of Warships here. Throw it. I'm not going to use my torpedoes before they reload. But my EU account, the ping's a lot higher, but I do have up to tier 5 there. So I was gonna play that, but the mods, since it's a brand new update, they're not working. I'd have to install an entirely new game client, and there's definitely no time for that. I have, for World of Tanks, I have pretty much every single tier. I have 237 or 8 tanks, something like that. But, yeah, can't play that right now, just because waiting for the NA servers to come back up. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hit that. Yeah. I know, new amphibious tanks. Crap, I saw that for a second. Here comes Levi barreling in. He's like, I missed the stream. Hi. Hello, Azul, nice to see you. Yeah, I've been playing World of Tanks since 2011, so I have quite a few. Oops, there's a ally there. Here we go. I hit that guy, but sorry about that. I just ran into you. Probably gonna turn the opposite way, but I might as well just dive in here. This is the thing about World of Warships, why I typically don't stream it, is the matches are pretty long and drawn out. Yeah, today it's not a huge update. It's 9.19.1 for World of Tanks. The NA servers, you know, they'll be up shortly. It's just until that point, unfortunately, I can't play tanks right now. The hardest part about not playing World of Warships for so long is getting the lead times back. That's, you know, it's pretty important to be able to lead ships. That's probably the hardest part about the game. I was just a little bit off there. Thank you for the subscription. It looks like, I don't know if, yeah, he might be completely knocked out. I have to set him on fire. I hate smoke in World of Warships. I think it's poorly implemented. Ah, that's pretty cool, Rich. Yeah, I didn't know that. I know he mentioned me in one, you know, several weeks ago, but I didn't know that there's another one. I guess I could potentially pop this guy a little bit, but I don't even have my UI set up correctly to be able to see the teams. Nice, I got a Citadel hit on him. Hi.
I had to put a glove on to freaking wash his food bowls.
Okay.
Jerk.
At least I got this guy's attention. That should get him a little bit distracted. Unfortunately, distracted means he's gonna start shooting me. How much do I play? I play it pretty much every time I stream, but right about now. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Fortunately, this thing does not have the Ooh. No! I was saving my repair, but I'm dead. I'm gonna get hit by both of them. I'm still barely hanging in there, but there's a dive bomber coming in. I guess I should not have pissed off the carrier here. That's a, you know, World of Warships, I really liked playing it when I was first starting out, because I thought, you know, they'd improve it as time went on. But the invisible ships is what kind of killed it for me. Awesome, I got their carrier there. It's just, I think this was a game that would have greatly benefited from not having the whole spotting system like World of Tanks. I've played since 2011. A prostate exam? Please no. Need to hope that this fire goes out before I burn out. Am I taking requests for ships? You guys can gladly post them. However, you know, I don't exactly... I have a few ships, but I'm probably going to want to stay in... Excuse me. Basically ships that, you know, they move around pretty quick. I don't want to play many battleships that are, say, slower, just because it's not as interesting to watch. Especially for people looking to see World of Tanks until the server pops up. Yeah, World of Tanks on the sea. I might as well just pop this off since, I'm set on fire again. I should not have went out here. This was a bad idea. At least my team's fairly far ahead. If we're probably not going to lose this. But I don't think I'm going to make it out of this alive. No, my torpedoes. But, you know, I still have fun popping into World of Warships every now and then. But, a little bit of tweaking I think it needs. But at this point, they're not going to change the game as drastic as, you know, I would like to add in more depth and remove the invisible ships to get me to play it a ton. Just a rubber ducky? I do have one, yes. Alright, there's only one ship, and this is another thing that kind of gets me about the game is, you know, whereas World of Tanks, it's very quick to get capped out. Or, you know, at the end of the game here, say you're in World of Tanks just to kill the last tank. World of Warships, you know, when you have one ship left, luckily this is, what, domination mode, I think it's called. You know, it ends somewhat quickly, but you have one ship left and it takes you ages to be able to get the guy out, and it can go on for like minutes just chasing one ship, especially say if you're in a battleship, because you might not even, you know, you might not be able to find the destroyer. Now right now the NA server is down. So that's why you're seeing me play some World of Warships. I got Dreadnought, coincidentally, award here. Pretty decent match though, as far as my standards. You know, this is the first match I've played in quite some time, so I am definitely glad. But alright, let's move into a different ship here. But yeah, once the NA servers pop up, which, you know, should be shortly here, I don't want to join ranked battles. I'll pop right over to World of Tanks here. All right, there's not a ton of people on. Why don't I play something a little bit quicker here? I'll hop into the hand here, or play the Nicholas. That's mid tier. Since there's not a lot of people on World of Warships, so playing Lakeville. But yeah, once the server gets up, I'm gonna pop back over there. Like I said in the beginning, I tried to play on the EU server, but since it's just thanks for tipping the dog here. Since it's a new patch, the mods that allow you to region change were not working. I tried 2 of them. Hey, you got a tip. They weren't working, so I tried. I was gonna play on EU. I know some people, always ask me for that, but yeah, it wouldn't let me do it. So, well, like I just said, I'm gonna play World of Tanks as early as I can. It just the server is not up. But it is what it is. I don't mind too much just because, even though World of Warships isn't like my go-to game, it's still fun to pop into it every now and then. So it'll just be a few battles. I'll try to play the Iowa for you, Jack. We'll see how it is with the player numbers, because there's only about 2,000 people on World of Warships this time of day. Yeah, Levi might be extra beggy. We probably have to take him back to the vet, either say like today or tomorrow or something. He has like some sort of cut or something stuck in his paw, we saw, and it's like puffed all up. He's not really in too much pain, but yeah, it's something we have to get checked out. Yes, I am gonna play World of Tanks on this stream. I've said it several times. It's the last time, you don't have to keep asking. Honestly, I haven't played this mode since they've added in, I don't even know, I guess it's a layered cap, it looks like. That's different. The SS Minnow. I could definitely try. Ah, crap, I forgot that my AA was on. It's alright, it's just, I have a feeling, which way is he gonna turn? I don't know. Just fire him this way.
Engine boost deactivated.
Slow down here. Luckily you don't sink, at least from what I know. You run into things still. Yeah, it should just be, a few more matches here at most for World of Warships before I can hop into tanks. Awesome, I'm definitely gonna get spotted here, so I might as well just start firing away at him. Poor guy. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing, but I know definitely not to do that. Yeah, everything's pretty much the same for World of Warships. Controls, the basics of it. But really the only difference between the two is you have to lead shots in World of Warships, more so than World of Tanks. Do I know Quickie Baby? No. I know who he is, but no. Alright. I typically play destroyers, honestly, I play very aggressively, kind of like how I play tanks, so. Alright, I'm not close enough right now. I need to stay hidden. However, this guy, he's not destroyed. He might have just spotted me. Yeah. So this guy might go into panic mode. he's smart, he would turn away from me. I didn't know they have a Kaiser roll as a ship. No, I ran into the mountain. This is not good, and I have an ally behind me. At least I got that guy with torpedoes. Mojo, I tried to play on EU, but the region changer mods aren't working since it's a new patch. So it's a no-go for me. I tried to play on EU, but there's no time to download the entire client. Luckily, he did not go for me. But the NA server, it's, I don't know, I'll have to check in between each battle, but it'll be up at the latest, like 2 or 3 more World of Warship matches here. I think that guy's gonna stay on his same path. No, but I actually thought I had a smoke screen down still, but I do not. He's starting to turn now. I just hope that my torpedoes have enough range to be able to get to him. They probably don't. Yeah, I don't have the space, honestly, to keep 2 clients up to date always. That's my problem. But yeah, the times where I need to play on the EU, you know. I got him now. Awesome. Yeah, I typically just use the region mods because I could keep a separate client on my, like, my storage hard drive, but I can't keep one and fit it on my solid state drive that I use for games. Hello, Undertaker. Nope, not cool, dude. Don't shoot the destroyer. The destroyer isn't doing anything. I think I'm gonna die. What flag? I started back in 2011. It was America. I started all 3 back then, but I started US first. But I would always suggest people to start with the US tanks. Well, honestly, the patches, they did pick the time when it was the least amount of people on. It's just usually the NA server pops up around 9 AM at the latest. In this case, they pushed it back to 10 AM at the latest. But hopefully I can get a little bit more done here. I don't have exactly a bad match so far. I hit 5 torpedoes so far. Alright, now we're back up and running. My team, you know, we have a pretty good lead here, which is another thing where, like, we're pretty much guaranteed to win this, so I'm gonna try to cap here, even though it's not letting... I don't even know. It's not letting us cap the rest of this for some reason. Probably because they have a ship hiding in it, but... yeah, more or less. Not to say that we have a win in the bag here. We could still lose, but you know, you pretty much know that you've won at this point, and it's not like tanks where it ends in a few minutes. It takes a lot longer than that. Yeah, I'm gonna regret trying to go after this destroyer and bunch here. Hopefully he keeps on his path, but he can pretty much easily dodge them if he wanted to. Yeah, but I had a decent match. Let me try to hop into the Iowa for you here. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to get into a battle. Even though I haven't played, you know, World of Warships in quite some time, like when I started, you know, the tech trees, there's basically Japan and US when I played, but now they actually have quite a few ships available. Yeah. Highest tier I have though is the Iowa, of course. Oh Lord. I just looked at the the World of Tanks forums. Everyone's like, I'm switching to the EU server forever, and wargaming's the worst, and they need to compensate us. Like, they give everyone a free premium, or another 24 hours on their premium account. But, like, people were, like, freaking out that the client's down. Like, that happens every single patch, people. Yeah, World of Tanks plays World of Warships. Alright. Honestly, I have not played a battleship like this in quite some time. This will be interesting to see how terrible I do here. At the very least, there's a carrier in this match on their team. I have the Iowa basically kitted out for full anti-air capabilities, so... How do you get gold? You spend money, Hassan. But, yeah, you can get it through tournaments and clan wars, but pretty much gold is, you know, it's the currency you gotta spend money on. Since I haven't exactly played in a while, I'm gonna keep my distance for a second. Time to carry my team, no pressure. Thanks for that. Yeah, no pressure. I'm the only tier 9 on my team, except for a Fletcher here, which he'll probably out damage me. Basically, Uber. That's what it seems like. There's actually, because I read the forums a lot, there's actually a huge amount of the player base that on the forums that do not play World of Tanks, and they, you know, they admit it. They don't play it anymore. They just hang around and troll the forums or bitch and complain about the game, and they do not play it. So, yeah, I'm just gonna slow myself down here a little bit. Like, I could just go at half speed, but I have a thing against that. I always have to go full speed ahead, for the most part. But more or less, you know, the game probably hasn't changed to where I do not want to get within basically too close to any of these ships since they have torpedoes, and it's not easy to dodge torpedoes, you know, wave after wave in a battleship like this. But I'm gonna try basically to slot in here, either keep going that way or which this is gonna be freaking shot in the dark here. Luckily that just barely made it over the mountain. I might be able to hit, and no, I was a little bit off. I got one hit though. But I'm just trying to get near some of my ships too, so I can give them AA cover. There's their Amagi. He's something I should be able to hit here if I guess right. I guess hit the islands there, unfortunately. Alright. We're gonna turn here pretty hard away from us, so I don't know why I'm trying to shoot. The Magi's pretty fast here. I should be trying to shoot something a little bit slower. I know there's no trees to knock down. That's definitely a good thing for me. I'll try to get him now that he's straightening out a bit here. I'm still leading him way too much though. That's why I was trying to stay around mid tiers because it's a little bit easier. So I'm gonna pop up my plane, not because I need the range, but more or less because I would like to possibly spot a torpedo or two coming my way. But this Ozumo's gonna nail me here. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna wait to see if I get set on fire one more time. But yeah, I've been played like crap here so far. I probably, not to say I want to throw HE out of a battleship, but I'd probably be better off. I have no idea what you're talking about, Sened. Honestly though, I know you're not meaning it. I hope you're not meaning it. I'm gonna time you out because you're pretty much just spamming the chat with nonsense, honestly. If you're not meaning it, I don't mean to sound too rude, but honestly, if you keep it up, I'll do something a little bit longer than that. It's got whacked there pretty hard. Unfortunately, they have a destroyer behind us, and I'm gonna, I guess, go this way. I need to get towards my other side because I can't push in pretty much alone here. That's definitely not a good thing in a ship this large. Well, it's not a bug, World Tanks. The server's down for an update. Oopsie daisy, there is definitely an island in front of me. You don't want to turn like this in, basically two battleships, and this is not exactly a good location for me to do this. I'm probably gonna get citadeled here. Fortunately not, but crap, I am definitely leading things way too much. No, Rich, I turned that off. Yeah, I don't listen to my own voice. That screws me up so bad. The only thing I can hear is, you know, anything that you guys hear outside of my voice. Oh, here comes the torpedoes. This is gonna be a blast. That's what I get for running into a frickin' island. We're still not out of this, but you know, we don't have the points, and they are pretty far ahead of us. And I'm honestly probably not going to make it out of this from that little mistake I did. Plus, I can't hit anything.
Problem solved, sir. I owe you one.
Thank you for tipping Levi. I'll tip him after this battle here. Yeah. I'm glad I could show you the Iowa, but honestly I am the wrong person to be playing a battleship since I have not played the game in quite some time. At least at the high tiers. Mid tiers are a little bit easier from what I remember.
The enemy is about to win.
I was about to say you can update World of Tanks, but if the servers are not up on Wargaming side, the game does not work. Yay, I actually hit something. Fantastic. That was basically my first real shot. All my other shots were only doing like 1,000 damage. He might flop off the cap there. Where I'm trying to get to. Trying to get within AA range, there we go, of these torpedo bombers. But I was just a little bit off. And unfortunately, the Moggy just got our guy there. Yeah, the carrier's been kind of avoiding me, since I can rip through his planes here pretty easily. Good lord, how the hell did they get torpedoes there? Alright, we just capped. We're still barely in this here. I'm gonna start heading towards this way. Pop my plane off just to help me with the torpedoes a little bit. Because I don't want to head that way. At least right now. They have a lot of ships, and especially ones with torpedoes that I guess can't fight right now. I might be able to pop their Ogami here. He's turning somewhat funky. Shit! There's another island there, Cody. Duh. Oh lord. He's able to shoot me over to the frickin' island. yeah. Which I am turning the complete opposite way than I need to, and there's probably a destroyer coming at me from that direction on my right.
Many thanks.
No. Hurry up. I definitely have torpedoes. Yep, there is a torpedo bomber coming my way.
The ship is on fire.
Luckily, I got them all out. Gonna have to hope I don't get set on fire again. I know, a good thing is I cannot flip the ship over. That would be bad. But unfortunately we lost because of the cap points. So... I didn't exactly do the best best I could have there. As far as my team goes, yeah, I got top 4 experience, but I should have done a lot more, to be honest. I only did yeah, 50,000 damage, which for a tier 9 is pretty low. I don't think much has changed about how much damage you should do. Usually you look to do at least 100,000 damage. Why don't I play... I'll play another another battleship here. I don't want to play a carrier, because that would be pretty cringeworthy. Why don't I play a Fuso here? I think I'll do a little bit better in one like this. Hello Abdul, nice to see you. I understand you pretty well for being from Slovenia. But yeah, waiting on the servers here still for World of Tanks. Pretty much once I get into World of Tanks here, you know, since it's going to be a shorter stream for tanks, just about 2 hours, I will take tank requests. I already have a few of them, but it's, you know, I still only can go till 12 o'clock. I can't go any later than that. Honestly though, I thought the servers would be up by now, which is why I didn't even bother changing my stream title, anything like that. So, go figure. Alright. Actually, why don't I start out with an HE salvo? Screw it. Which unfortunately I just got in a match with two carriers here. And this thing does not have it doesn't really have much anti-aircraft capability, so yeah, I'll have to dodge a bit. It was nice, Randall. Thanks for asking. The restaurant we went to, the food took a long time to come out, but it was a nice night. Hey, no licking your paw. I almost forgot someone tipped you. He's like, I gotcha. The test server is down because they're no longer testing the patch that, you know, just came out today for every server and yesterday for Russia. They don't just continuously leave a test server up. Alrighty then. Honestly, some of these ships I don't even know the names of, like the Bayern, the Grafspee. Yeah. So I don't know exactly how they play. Because like World of Tanks, this is all about, you know, it's knowing your own ship, your strengths and weaknesses. And it's like rock, paper, scissors, even more so in World of Warships than World of Tanks. To where try to exploit the enemy's weakness and your strength, vice versa. So It's a little bit hard not knowing how certain ships play here. The Cleveland, I know, is a pain in the...
Spotter airborne.
Thank you very much for the subscription. The Wargaming will tell you when the test server is back up. I cannot give you an answer. They're chasing after my little plane here, and this Cleveland should be able to shoot down his fighter. So I don't even care that they shot my plane down. That was kind of my goal. How far away? I did hit him. I just wanted to see how far my lead time was off. Well, it's mainly difficult right now because honestly, I haven't played this. I played a couple matches when John purchased, I believe it was John, the end of stream, you know, several weeks ago, but outside of that, once you play it enough, you get down, you know, the lead times, and it gets a lot easier. Because pretty much it's all about positioning and leading your targets. If you can do that, you are... I would actually say World of Warships is easier than the World of Tanks because it's a little bit slower paced. If you play Destroyers, it's, you know, pretty much I would say the same speed as tanks, but... yeah. I still get in there. I have a feeling he's gonna end up turning sooner than later, though. It's based off of hello Clarence, nice to see you. It's based off of basically view range, camo, stuff like World of Tanks, basically. And there's smoke. Honestly, I think they should have just went with a straight up visual system, but right, we are definitely hurting here. This guy's angled pretty well. I am currently not. Luckily, he's straightened out here. Hopefully I can fix my angle, but got a little bit of damage on him there. Yeah, it's basically the same system as World of Tanks, just on a much larger scale. And with smoke. I just got a pretty big hit there. Gonna take a pop at this Cleveland, who's... I think gonna turn. He's not gonna turn, but I think I got that pretty spot on there. All you need is one big hit to take off like half their HP. Okay, you logged in, Randall. Awesome. So this is gonna be my last World of Warships battle here. Since I know everyone here mostly wants to see World of Tanks. Take another crack at the Cleveland. He's turning towards me, so I'm going to aim a little bit lower, and hopefully that works out. I got a few hits on him there. And also a problem with World of Warships is you can nail ships with AP rounds, especially from battleships, and do almost no HP damage just from like missing a critical location, which I get it why it's like that, but at times it just feels a little bit too dinky. for getting nailed with a freaking large ass round, only to do like 1,000 damage. I kind of whiffed there. Still hiding behind that rock. Guess I'll fire at somebody else, but I would have liked to take out the Cleveland. That's gonna be pretty close there. But I'm gonna go in for capping this point down here. Please, if you have any tank requests, you put exclamation point request, then type the tank name after that. Please only request one tank. So, since typically requests, I get a ton of them, just so it's fair to everybody. Wanted to get the Cleveland out because he can set me on fire a lot, but I didn't want him to get too far away. Hit him in the track, I wish. In this game, you know, you gotta hit him in the engine, or the rudder, and they just keep going in circles. Which oddly, from what I played before, hitting your rudder, unless you hit an island, people tend not to be able to hit you. Because they can't lead you correctly for going in a circle. It's kind of funny at times. That ship looks pretty quick, but I might have... yeah, I led him a little bit too much. That's been my problem for all of today so far. I'm leading people a little bit too much. Alright. See if I can get this guy out with this here shot. There's definitely a destroyer all the way back there. I'm gonna wait to see if he straightens out. He should. So he can keep his guns on us, but yeah, he didn't turn as much as I thought he would. Did get a hit on him though. Ah, there's one of their carriers. Awesome. I'd love to have HE right now for him. Let's see how this goes. I think I definitely led him too much again. World of Warplanes, I could have played that to start off, but I chose World of Warships here since it's a little bit more popular. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to HE since I have a carrier here and a Cleveland where I could kill him with HE here. Probably gonna aim at the Cleveland first, to be honest, because should be able to get him out with that. No, I completely missed there. There we go. That's a pretty good hit. But yeah, this is gonna be my last World of Warships battle. Then Tanks is up next here. Couple shots on him. That should take him out. Or not. There we go. Finally. Somehow we're actually losing this. I don't know how we are losing, but yeah. Yes, I do, Arkham. Apparently it's just a Dreadnought, but I don't just play wargaming stuff. Alright, so I need to probably swap back to AP after this salvo here. I did actually hit that, Alright. Should be able to hit him. He comes behind this. Alright, now back to AP. I hit him once. 4 times. Awesome. Well, that's good. He caught the last battle World of Warships here, since the server's back up finally. Honestly, if I didn't lead my targets too much, our team probably would have won this pretty easily. Not that we're out of this, it's just, it's closer than it should be. Come on, guns, get on target. Ah, it's like the perfect shot for me here. Need to get my other... I don't know. That didn't exactly do as much as I wanted it to. Because I'm about to get torpedoed. Oh lord. Yeah, I'm gonna get hit by one of these. No doubt about that. I slowed down, unfortunately. See if that gets him. He's pointing at, he turned. Let's say he's pointing a little bit towards me. Still, yeah, still nothing. Down to just me and one other dude. I don't think this is gonna end well for me here. There we go, I finally killed something, yay! I will say, please only request 1 tank, guys. I'm only going to be, now that requests fill up very, very quickly, I'm only going to be taking 1 request per person until I get through them. And if I ever, get through the requests, you're able to request more. Yeah, I thought that before if they all joined together, but I don't think it would be much fun. You can play Battlefield for like an experience like that. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to kill all these people, to be honest. Definitely not in my current state, which crap, there's a freaking destroyer there. No good. I'm deader than dead here. Miss. I don't think it's gonna miss. Still alive. Not for long, no. I've got so many fires, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I missed so many shots there that I did 66,000 damage, but yeah, I could have done a lot better there. I should have done a lot better. I actually have quite a few World of Warship replays up from when I actually did play it. Let's say I don't think I have done any, so let me pop out of here and hop over to World of Tanks here. Whoops, that's strange. Sorry about that noise, that's pretty loud. Alright, let me fix that real quick. Whoops. Sorry for these loud noises. I am not intentionally doing this. Why aren't you working? I know why it's not working. It's just I don't get why. What? Alright, well this is awesome. World of Tanks, what are you doing to me? Sorry for the... let me mute this for a second here, because that's actually pretty loud. Is that not working? I'm actually confused here. It's, yeah. I don't know if this is actually gonna work, guys. I might not be able to stream tanks today. You gotta love this. Let me try to fix this here. For some reason, it didn't create a stupid little... There we go. I don't know why it did that. I didn't delete it. It didn't create the mod folder for whatever reason for 9.19.1 here for some reason. That's strange. Usually, you know, it automatically creates one for it, but yeah, that's a little bit odd that it didn't create one. It kept you're not able to give anyone Levi biscuits now. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why it didn't create one. It kept giving me an error saying mod folder does not exist, even though I don't even have any mods. So right, now that we got through that, that was a little frustrating. Because it wasn't even anything that I did with the mods I tried to use for region changer. I did them in I copied the client before I did that. So let me hop into my first request here, which is a grind. Let me get a couple personal serves going here. I don't really have that many right now. I need to purchase some. But I'm going to start out WZ132A here. Clarence, please, Levi is not going to play. So, honestly though, if you... either a few of you guys are being a little bit annoying here, either please act a little bit more mature, or honestly, I will just ban you guys. I don't mean to sound mean, but you're kind of spamming the chat, and I don't like that. And for reference, it's not a timeout. A ban is permanent. You can't talk in chat anymore. You can still watch, but there's no chat available. Anyway, WZ132A here. Not exactly the best map for it, but I'm gonna try to scout a little bit. Actually, some people do have every single tank, but they spent a very large amount of money to be able to get them. I've seen a few people post on the forums, you know, finally got so-and-so, you know, when they add new tanks in. But I would say it's a very small amount of people. I was about to say, that guy has the new Chinese tier 10 heavy already. Probably somebody like that who, you know, I used to do that. If a new tank came out, get a basically free experience it right away. It's Ryan.
What's up?
Can you look at my brother's text? It's directed towards you.
Mm.
They didn't really push anybody out into the field. Even though they could have, you know, they could have slipped somebody out there. See if I can get myself into a little bit of trouble, but not too much trouble out here. I don't like fighting in the field. But if I'm able to push it, I'm fine with that. I just don't like just scouting and getting stuck out here. Perfect timing, I guess, Lobobo. I literally, I don't want to get stuck out here against him. Yeah, I'm gonna go act like I'm a medium tank over here. Pretty much this is outside of the HP and armor, and the tier 10 Chinese light is through and through basically a medium tank. Almost like a Russian medium with a little bit less HP and less hull armor, but much better camouflage. Crap. Just trying to get a little bit lucky there, and that didn't pay off for me. Which the M48 is actually getting a pretty significant buff in 9.20 from what they're talking about. Like, it's not set in stone, of course, but yeah, they are giving it a brand new turret regardless. It's just, I already think the M48 is pretty good, and even the M46 is getting a pretty huge buff. I kind of hope they don't do it as far as the armor thickness is. I'm all for giving the M48 a new turret. The new turret basically is going to give it a smaller cupola, but they're buffing the turret armor well beyond what it should be. Let's say he was a little bit greedy there. I knew I could pop him with HE, I just didn't have it loaded right away. I'm on the board with 48 damage and 1 kill. Okay, Our problem is, yeah, these two guys are, I'm not able to save either of them. I need to get the shot on the mouse and then run away, to be honest. I'm not even sure if I can, yeah, I can't even pen him. But I can't brawl against a mouse, M48, 183mm. Yeah, there's no hope for that for me. Whatever our Artie's doing, crap. The FV's over this way. Whatever our Artie's doing, I don't know where he's aiming, but don't exactly have the best shots into the town. We do need to kill this guy before he gets back up, but fortunately nobody had shots on him. Oh yeah, I forgot I hit the bat chat. Right. Yeah, this is gonna go bad for us, but yeah, let's just make it a little bit interesting here, I guess. Able to get him, girl? At least I got him, but yeah. I warned you several times, Sened, but you are basically at the end of this match very close to getting banned, so whether you realize it or not, but gave you ample warnings here. Oops, I thought he went down. Not good, not good at all. He has a faster reload than I do, and yep. This is why the M48 I don't think needs the armor buff that they're giving it. The armor to me is decent enough for a medium. It's just they're cutting down on the turret size, which is all it needs, and I would think that it's a good enough change for it. But yeah, they're looking to give the M48 and even the M46 patent basically armor that is better better than a lot of heavy tanks, honestly, at the tier as far as effective armor goes. So hello Craze, nice to see you. But yeah, that wasn't the best match I've had in the WZ. Unfortunately, it's really hard on that map to play a light tank. This is one of my least favorite maps to play, but I'll try to make it work. At least there's no artillery here. Well, Senna, just please don't spam the chat with stuff like yelling kill Artie 2 times. No. Like stuff like that, that's not even the first thing. It's just, you know, keep things constructive, and that's pretty much it. I read the chat and keep an eye on it pretty good, and I read every single message, but if someone's like, you know, basically not like spamming or adding things that are distracting, that's definitely not great. Alright, see ya. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the M48, just the turret change alone with making the cupola smaller, that's all the M48 needs. Honestly though, they should just add the M60A1 in. They're probably never gonna do that because they're stubborn as all hell. But yeah, the M48 doesn't need that many changes. The M46 doesn't need freaking an impenetrable turret either. That thing is already really good. where that will make it borderline, I don't like to say overpowered, but it will actually make it overpowered. Specifically if you shoot gold out of it too. Like if they wanted to buff the M46, give it a little bit a little bit better on the move accuracy and overall accuracy, just like 0.1 or something overall accuracy better, and yeah, that's literally all that tank needs. Yeah, 9.19.1, it adds the tier 10 Chinese heavy, and then outside of that there's HD model changes, personal missions, a couple of them change, and yeah, there's not too much else out to that. Outside of the SVGs, you can now platoon 1 and a platoon again. But mainly this is just a small little patch to hold everyone over till 9.20, which is the massive graphic render change, maps changing, and tons of rebalancing, which they're not even done announcing more tanks they're rebalancing. Like they announced the M48 and M46 yesterday, but there's still a lot more to come. Pretty much it's their big patch of the year to draw people back in, add new features, stuff like that. Yeah, like the M46, not that I own it right now, but the tank's already pretty damn good. Its only weaknesses are a pinch of accuracy problems and its standard penetration. Everything else about the tank is excellent, and they're looking to give it armor that basically you won't be able to pen unless you have a really high penetrating gold round, or if you're like a tier 9 or 10 tank destroyer, but you won't be able to basically pen it reliably anymore. And the M48's even worse, to where that's actually going to be almost on par, not at the like max strengths, but it's going to be just like a pinch weaker than the T110E5's turret, and that's definitely not balanced in my opinion. My chance here. Whoops. That's why I was auto aimed. I was like, why am I not moving? Yeah, more or less it is, until they really just need to fire the head of balancing that they hired at this point 2 years ago. The guy he's terrible. They just need to get rid of him. Previously, he had no prior experience outside of just being a Russian World of Tanks streamer. Like, just because he's a streamer doesn't mean he knows what's best for the game. I could have rushed in here, but honestly, I'm content with sitting on the cap, wasting shells. Well, yeah, the 121 and whatchamajig, 113 did get gun depression buffs too. I forgot about them. The 1311, I'm not sure what that tank is. I don't think I have it though. Nastum. I have a full tank request list in my video description below. There's a little link. It'll pop you over to my website, WoTguru.com. If you need to request a tank, you just type that command into the chat. Not exactly, hey, stop it. No licking. He has a little cut on his ball. I need to keep reminding him. Not exactly the best match, but 3k damage, Invader award. Pretty quick and simple win there. I really don't mean to... Honestly, I don't mean to come off as rude to some people. Like, it seems like I'm annoyed this morning, but... messaging me in game, asking me if I am live or not, I don't mean to... Like, I get it almost every time I log into the game. Just please... The URL for my stream is the same every single time. My schedule doesn't change. It's just, it's a little bit easier if you just pop over and see if it says if I'm live or not. But there's a few people that ask me every single time I log on, and it's none of you guys, honestly, that watch frequently, but it kind of, it annoys me to where I'm gonna start, you know, basically not responding to him anymore. I pretty much have the full grind, Uber, for the WZ111, the tier 10. I don't have the M8 A1 sim fan, sorry. And I do not have the KV3 either. Like I just said, please take a look at my tank request list. It's in the video description right below this video. As every tank I have that I can play. If it's not on there, can't play it for you. Alrighty then, I'm not top tier here. I might just try out here. But yeah, I would say as far as how much experience I have to get to the tier 10 Chinese heavy, I honestly would have had it by now if I didn't have... I didn't think they were going to release it. I had the Accelerate Crew training on my WZ111 1.4 for so long. I would have had it by now, but it's like something like 200,000 experience or something, because I had, you know, I had it checked off for a long time. It's tough being famous. I wouldn't say I'm famous, no, but you know, it is a little hard sometimes. Like, I'm very accommodating. I stream for you guys, like, where I take tank requests, I play what you want to see me play, but there's sometimes where I log on and I always try to respond to every message that people send to me, whether it's on Discord, YouTube. If you leave a comment on YouTube when I'm not live streaming, I check them, and also, you know, in game. But there's some to where, you know, I have web pages on WoT set up specifically to deal with some questions, and you know, whether it's my tank requests or when I'm streaming, and you know, it, not that it takes me a lot of time to answer them, but it, you know, it's something that you could imagine over time you kind of get worn down from getting asked the same thing over and over, especially from the same people. It basically, the tier 10 Chinese heavy, I kind of went over, basically it was the initial tier 10 Chinese heavy when they were implementing the Chinese tanks. However, they didn't implement it because it was completely overpowered, and it essentially replaced every single tier 10 medium tank. There's a reason they didn't implement it back then, and now they implemented it, and it virtually is balanced the same as it was back then. I would say it's not the best tier 10 heavy, but it's the best mobile tier 10 heavy. It has comparable armor to an IS-7, which is why the IS-7 is getting buffed in 9.20. Like, it is weaker, however, the gun on it just, if you think the tier 9 WZ's gun is excellent, the gun on this just, yeah. It's basically an IS-7 that trades a little bit of armor, specifically on the hull, for more mobility, better accuracy, and a much better gun. So, it's pretty damn good. Honestly, yeah. It's just one of those things where, ever since they hired his name's like Moraza or something, for balancing, like I said, about 2 years ago at this point, about a year and a half though. He's been basically full on, even more than Wargaming was initially, power creeping everything to where just it's a never-ending cycle of rebalancing things because they keep adding better and better and better tanks. Like before, there was power creep going on in the game, but they weren't straight up like intentionally doing it. Just barely got him there. Like it was more of a product of they had to release tanks that people wanted to get, and a lot of the times, they just ended up having better guns than their peers, and it was shifting towards faster tanks, better guns, and less about, say, armor. And power creep just ended up happening, but as a kind of a side effect of that, now the current balancing guy is just straight out basically destroying any resemblance of balance and not fixing any underlying problems about it, mainly premium rounds. Because really, like at this point, like I'd like a huge change to premium rounds. I'm sure most people would, but I'd completely be content with most new tanks that come out, not all. Their premium rounds have about 20 to like 40 millimeters more penetration than a standard round for a lot of new tanks that come out. I'd be completely fine if they just simply nerf the older tanks premium rounds, like say like the T-54, T-175, like tanks like that, down to those levels. I'd be fine with that at this point. Is it perfect? No. However, it would still be, it would be livable, but unfortunately, sorry Colt 45, I'm not answering any more messages today. I don't mean to be mean towards him, but I'm very clearly soloing today. Alright, so for requests here, I have the Super Pershing. I do have a Hellcat, VK4502B, KV85 I also have. Thank you very much, Simfan. I try my best. I do have a Tiger 131, yes. Alright, T92, I can also get to that. FE215B. At this point, looking at the requests, it's probably, that's probably going to be all that I can take for this stream here. Okay, let me get myself moving along here. I fix my overlay. But yeah, since, the game wasn't up basically for the first hour, I'm not able to take as many tank requests as I could. I spelled the Hellcat wrong. The Hellcant. Yeah, this is probably going to be all the requests that I can take for today. Yeah, the turret's very strong on the T9 or T29. Unfortunately, at this map, I'm not really going to be using the turret much. I don't like playing in the north because typically your team puts way too many people up there for my liking. Especially from this side, you have a lot of TDs that camp back in this area. But it's very hard to push through there, and even if you do, you typically lose out because your team usually, the enemy has a lot of tanks still in the town that can just drive right back to their base and kill you. But you can win the map from the north. It's just me personally, I don't like focusing there if I don't have to. Yeah, the tracks on the T29s can side scrape pretty well. just because they run along the whole side of the tank. Make sure I don't fall off here. Hello, Asver. Nice to see you. Did not want to trade shots there with him. And I guess I got hit by HE. I need to wiggle my way out of this because I was expecting these guys pushed, which is good as long as they keep pushing. I was expecting at least say like a T-34 or something to set up behind me, but with them pushing, I just need to kind of wait this out for a second. Yeah, he's doing a decent job at throwing HE. That's something I would do in this scenario too. Unfortunately for him, no, he's not going to be able to out-damage a T-34 and myself with just HE. Crap, our IS-6 is in trouble. I'm not going to be able to get to him in time. Wish our ONI would have pushed up though. I don't know what exactly he is thinking. I don't know if I'll be able to get back in time. Yeah, he can pen me pretty easily here. Oh, the reason I penned IS-6 there is I swapped over to APCR. AP I would have been able to pen, but it would have been not a 50-50 chance, but I would have had a decent chance at bouncing. Hope I don't get RD'd. Probably gonna die from the T-54 lightweight, but yeah. Worth it. At least I got one more shot on him. He finally pushed up now. Thank God. We should be able to win this though. Not my best match in the T-29, but I went where I thought would be best for my team. Alright, so T-54 is up next here, which, as far as how much experience I need to get for the Chinese heavy, that's actually lower than I thought. So I only need 174,000 experience. I might have to focus on that for my grind now. I thought it was a lot higher than that, but yeah, Simfan, I have the T-29, the T-30, I have the T-34, I have almost every single American tank, so I don't know why you're asking that. I had the T-30 when I had it as a tier 10 heavy tank. I have it as a TD. I don't exactly like the T-30 too much, since I liked it when it was a heavy tank years ago, but I do have it. Alright, so which people have these things now from ranked battles. I think they're kind of funny. When I was playing last night a little bit, people kept asking what they were, and more or less, you know, everyone, they didn't really know what it was, and eventually they figured out it was from ranked battles. It's basically like in-game wargaming XVM, to where people with a little medal next to their name, they're gonna get focused and killed, you know, straight out of the bat, or straight out of the start of the game. Ugh. I can't talk to this morning. But Yeah. Even if I had gotten one of those, since I didn't really play ranked battles all too much, I don't think I would put one on just for that reason. Don't need more attention getting thrown my way. What I was waiting for. I had a very strong feeling that T-49, from how he pushed over there, he was going to dive in there. Senate, you've asked that twice. Honestly, after this timeout, you're getting, yeah. You can honestly blame, oh, that thing has decent gun depression. I knew it had all right gun depression, but not enough to be able to point down. Not that that's a very steep hill there, but it's more than other Chinese tanks can do. I'm just going to use the heat out of this tank, since a lot of these tanks I can't pen otherwise. Not the ground. Daisy. Past you. Who's got hit by a T-92? Right now, though, we need a little bit of help from our arty. I know our arty can hit there, but we have not gotten... Not pushing that way, I'm just more or less trying not to get hit by a T-92 again if I can help it, but... Yeah. This is somewhere where SPGs, we needed them to hit them just to prevent them from pushing into us. Like, their SPG gets stunned. Now I'm tracked, I can't shoot the WZ, and yeah. How SPGs are now, they're, you know, they're like an amplifier for your team. But yep, trying to fight that thing is... I should have honestly moved back when I had a chance, but thank you very much, Artie, for not supporting us at all. At least one of them would have been nice to help us. But yeah, the new boot camp with this patch, you know, it definitely looks nice compared to their previous tutorial that wasn't exactly... I went through it on the EU server just to get the rewards out of it. It definitely didn't do much. The only reason you haven't sold that? Hopefully you won't have to wait too much longer, Uber, but who knows? It's supposed to come out this year from what I heard, but yeah. Whether or not that actually happens, yeah. Alright. If this match doesn't go well, I'm probably gonna hop into a couple tanks I wanna pop into to kind of get back on things. I'm gonna blame it on playing World of Warships. It threw me off a little bit there. They're supposed to be, with the whole Chieftain line implemented, the Conqueror's getting a rework a little bit as far as the turret. Cairnarvon's getting a rework, especially with its turret. So those two tanks, the Conqueror's not going to get buffed much. It's just getting a slightly different top turret, I believe. But another one of those tanks. But the Cairnarvon is getting rebalanced. I don't think it'll come with 9.20, but it's probably just held up by the Chieftain for whatever reason. It's all modeled. It's just the tanks before the Chieftain MK6 that they want to implement are not finished from my understanding. Whether it's just like two tanks or more of a complete line down the... I heard it's either going to start at tier 8 or tier 5, the line. So... honestly though, there is a mod though where you can replace your tank models with the Chieftain MK6 if you play on PC and you don't have it on your server. And this is... hopefully I don't get hit from behind here, but this is not gonna go too well for us here. Honestly, I'm just gonna leave our Artie to die there. I'm just going to help these two guys because this one PZ-58 can just tear them guys apart. Yeah, and I'm playing literally probably the worst possible way I could. Luckily this thing isn't too sluggish. I'm just trying to track this guy, but I keep missing. This Udez is not helping though. Dude, you need to shoot him. You can't continually run away and expect me to kill the guy before he kills you. You don't have that much experience. Or not experience, frickin' HP. Oh god. Yeah, we've definitely lost this. The enemy put all their tanks into the center, which is smart. And we were all kind of spread out. We had TDs kind of... I honestly never go out into the kind of open area, just because you typically don't get much support. And on top of that, especially in a Udez, you're going to get artied, and it's very easy for people just to kind of push around you. But they found that out the hard way. Honestly, I'm gonna be very, very happy once this new Chinese heavy dies down a little bit. They're, you're seeing a lot of them now because, yeah, it is a new tank, but at the same time, the thing is probably the best tier 10 medium right now by a long shot. Oh lord. Good night, Jack. Thank you very much for watching. Alright, before I hop into any more tank requests, I'm gonna play a T110E3 match here. That wasn't exactly a bad match, considering what I was dealt, but yeah. Oh lord. But actually, before I do this, just to kind of, because I know people are going to come across a lot of these WZs here. That out. But comparing it to an IS-7, more or less, more DPM, better accuracy. Gun depression, I actually didn't know it had better gun depression than the IS-7. Yeah. But the same damage per shot, same pen. And yeah, it's pretty good, crazy, because it sacrifices a little bit of hull armor. Both turrets are pretty much impenetrable, more or less. But the main difference comes down to, more or less, while they have the same specific power, which the IS-7 right now, the next patch it's getting a mobility buff, the WZ-111-5A is much faster than the IS-7. As you can see, it can turn a lot better, essentially like a medium tank. However, it's much faster than the IS-7, which my IS-7 crew actually has. I should probably switch this, to be honest, to where, yeah, to make it a little bit more fair, because honestly this will which that changes these numbers as well. To where yeah, it's even more showing now, the DPM difference. I forgot my IS-7 had basically one of my best crews in it, but more or less that's even more showing as far as the DPM differences, as well as having better accuracy, on the move accuracy, and gun depression. But more or less the specific power, IS-7's is higher, but the traverse speed is much lower. The terrain resistance is one of the only stats that they don't put in the client still. IS-7 has some of the worst in the game when it comes to top tier heavy tanks that aren't, say, the Mouse and like Mouse and Type 5 stuff. They have typically pretty bad ground resistance. The IS-7 has terrible ground resistance, which slows it down. That's why it feels like you're driving through like pudding a lot of times. WZ-111-5A does not, so that's why it zips around pretty damn easily, and it feels like a medium tank. Whereas if you look at the raw stats, it's, you know, it's pretty close, but on paper, you know, it doesn't translate into the match to where the 111-5A will just completely blow it out of the water, unless you're going downhill. Yes, apparently in 9.20, nothing's finalized right now. WZ, or no, the IS-7 is getting more or less a stronger engine and slightly, I think, better. It's getting more HP and gun handling added to it. It's going to get, the initial stats are 2,400 HP, stronger engine, but it's still going to be a pinch slower than the 111-5A. Just because of the terrain resistance. But it will perform similar, although turning worse than it because of the traverse speed difference. It'll perform similar going in a straight line on most hard ground, so think not in marshes, stuff like that, water. Alrighty then. Yeah, thank you to anybody who I did time out who kind of got the message, but you know, everyone is welcome to chat, of course. It's just, please don't troll, be annoying, like basically treat every message you type as something that's constructive. Like, don't continually ask the same thing over and over. I always read the messages. If I can't get to them in the match at the time, I always scroll back and you know, get through chat before the next match here. But yeah. I've said quite a few times, like, I don't want it to be the point where I ignore chat like other streamers do. I always do my best to interact with the chat, answer questions, take tank requests, so on and so forth. Damn. Let's say, I did not expect him to shoot HE. More people were catching on to this strange HE round thing. So they are pushing hard here, but we are going to be screwed. And of course I frickin' bounce. We're going to be screwed if we don't kill some of these guys up top. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna go very bad, very quickly. But I'm gonna, yeah. They're not far enough up to keep them from flanking me. I need to get back to at least this rock, though. Ah, shit, he doesn't have a fire extinguisher. Yeah, this is gonna go pretty poorly. We had enough people in the north, honestly, to push, but it doesn't look like they're gonna do that. Double check, I'm not gonna get shot there. That was a bad shot. Gamble of the day is probably... Nope, that's definitely not good. That was the gamble. He's got heat. This is not good at all. Because I don't care if I lose a little HP as long as I can get some of these tanks out. Push him back down there because they should be able to kill him. He just fired. Ah, Lord. There we go. Thank you very much, Kronwagen. That's what I was looking for there. Well, honestly, HE, it's a good round to use because you can't always, you know, you can't always pen something. I was just surprised that E4 had it loaded up as his first round. That should be alright here unless Artie starts shooting at me. Then 103, I don't think he, you know, I didn't think he was brave enough to push out far enough to hit me in my lower plate. Here's the Artie shot. There we go. Whew. I was messing up a little bit there in the beginning, but luckily the E3, I'm pretty confident in it as long as I prevent myself from getting flanked too much. You know, even if I have low HP, to still play pretty aggressively just because of the armor and the gun on it. I don't have any shot there. Which I will say, like I mentioned before, for anyone who's a moderator, YouTube finally did add in a feature to track people that you ban. Whereas before it was permanent, the only way to unban someone was to more or less have their channel URL to go to it directly to undo it. Now it's actually there's a list on my basically dashboard to be able to do it, so it's a little bit less permanent. Sorry, Colt. Yeah. Basically, if anyone is interested in platooning, I do not platoon on Sundays and Wednesdays. I always have it on my stream schedule when I do platoon, which I keep running into this same exact guy. Whatever, the WZ-111-5A up there, every single match. It's kind of funny. But I do not platoon, you know, Wednesdays and Sundays on my streams. I solo just because I do not get through a lot of matches platooning, and I do half platoon, half you know, solo, just so it's a happy medium. And yeah. So for days when I'm soloing, I do not platoon with anybody just because I get through more tank requests. I'm able to get a couple more usually if the server's actually up, unlike today. I can throw in a few tank grinds that I'm grinding, because otherwise I wouldn't get any new tanks for you guys to request. But the way platoons work, if anyone is new here, would see you, Mr. Dingo. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. The way I do platoons, some streamers do it differently. More or less, if I'm platooning on a certain stream day, you just have to message me in-game, you know, saying that you want a platoon. It helps if you have a good selection of tiers, because, you know, you have to have the same tier to platoon now. So you can look at my tank request list, see if there's some tanks that work for you if you don't have up to tier 10. If you don't have up to tier 10, typically I can play like 1 or 2 matches with you. Just because tank requests always, you know, they always come first. But if you have up to tier 10, as long as there's not like a queue of people wanting to platoon, I can platoon with you as, you know, as long as the stream goes. But all you do is message me on one of those platoon days and I will do my best to fit you in. It's like last stream, there was like three people that had up to like tier 6 or 7, and you know, I played as many matches as I could with them, maybe like 2 to 3 per person. At mid tiers, I fit them in the best I could when I can. But I always try to, since I don't have a ton of time in the summer to stream, I only stream about 9-10 hours at most a week. I always try to keep, you know, the games flowing at a good pace, not a lot of downtime, and stick to the tank request list. That way, nice for you guys, it's more interesting, not sitting there watching me find people to platoon with, stuff like that, and you know, people can still platoon with me. I'm not gonna be able to pen these guys. Hello, the Wojin. I probably botched your name, but hello nonetheless. Getting in tier 10 matches in this tank, it's kind of like, please don't shoot me, I am a poor Sherman. Like, try to help my team, but nah. At least he got a pretty, he got a low roll there. Ah, I was so close. Luckily somebody else got him out. I'm not against throwing HE out of this thing. If, like right now, even with heat, me being able to pen any of these tanks with heat right now, outside of the other M4, is virtually, not to say zero, but it's pretty damn low unless I push out and YOLO at them. Hopefully you guys know what YOLO is. I literally just talked about, sorry, you're banned, because I literally just talked about platooning, and at this point either you really don't understand English or you're trolling. So I was trying to be nice to you, because typically I ban people if I think they're trolling immediately, but you had plenty of chances. Hello Bio, nice to see you. Oh, I know. That's usually why I always try to carry at least one HE shell, if not more. But like right now I'm on the heat because I can't pen a ST1 on the side with its regular APCR round here. It's 200 millimeters of pen. I just slipped in a shot there, thankfully. But yeah, if it's the only chance you have, you're better off throwing HE. Even if you just like damage a module, it's better than nothing. And oftentimes if you're kind of sitting there and nothing's being spotted, I'll just start throwing HE at frickin' bushes and hope I get lucky. It's a really underutilized round where if you're playing a tank, you notice you never get close to going through all your rounds, start adding a little bit more HE. They're cheap. They do damage as long as you come into contact with the enemy tank, whether it does a little module damage or HP damage. And even the fact where, like yesterday, I was playing, it was an Arty though, so it's a little bit different throwing HE out of Arty, of course. Nothing was being spotted in this one match I was playing, and I just started throwing HE into bushes to where light tanks were, and I splashed 2 light tanks over the course of 3 shots because literally no enemies were getting spotted, and I basically pushed their lights back and they weren't spotting our team after that. You just rage quit it on War Thunder? Well, nice of you to join us over here on World of Tanks. Alright. But last night I was trying to the VK 101P, very good tank. ADZ, or ADZ I should say. But not a lot of damage there, but it was a tier 10 match. Sorry. I didn't mean to have cap locks there, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that because honestly, Colt, I don't even know if he's watching me. He's probably not since he's playing. It's been the past few streams where I can't answer every single message that you send during a stream. So, but the VK101P is probably one of the better tier 8s currently. The only downside to it is it's slow right now, but its armor's very good, gun hits hard, has good HP. It has one of the better win rates out of standard tier 8 tanks. You can't go wrong with it. Even the Malshin and of course the tier 10 Mouse, they're all very good tanks right now. No, HE does not work better if it's already damaged. You might have gotten that thought from people use HE if a tank's low HP, just because say it has like 10 HP at tier 8 or something, just pop an HE round at it and you'll do damage. The only way you don't do much damage with HE or any at all is if you hit tanks at their thickest point of the armor. Say you're like facing off against a really heavy tank and you hit them right around the gun, specifically on the mantlet, you won't do much HP damage. So what you try to do is you hit tanks on their turret roof around the cupola because it splashes down into the thin armor, or you hit them basically right underneath the gun to where it splashes down into their upper hull armor or the top of their sides, stuff like that. The way HE damage is calculated is, you know, most shells, you know, if they hit something at a super high angle, they'll bounce off. HE mainly comes down to the thickness of the armor that you're hitting. Plus, you know, if it hits it at an angle, it does decrease the effectiveness a little bit, but it more or less has something to do with the sheer thickness of armor. So you're trying to hit the thinnest armor possible to accomplish damage with HE. Thank you for tipping Levi Randall. He will be very happy. Bio, try like, you know, obviously you played World of Tanks and War Thunder. Try a game called Dreadnought. I played it my last stream on Monday towards the end. If you want to take a look at it, it's free to play. It's a very fun think World of Tanks in space. It's pretty fun, and it's free to play. So hello John from Trollland, nice to see you. I'm assuming there's some tanks up here. Hopefully for my sake. I didn't want to go down here because it's not all that useful. We have a ton of people down here, and my speed does not allow me to get over there before they basically make it to their base. So I'm kind of banking on them actually having a tank or two over here, but yeah, unfortunately this tank's very slow. The game. Dreadnought. But it's pretty fun. And it looks really good too with its graphics, but mainly the gameplay, it has a lot of depth to it, more than it appears at the, you know, your first couple matches, to where, you know, it's basically as hard as you want it to be, but on the surface, if you just want to play giant spaceships and, you know, shoot at other people and blow them up, you can just do that. So I play down to tier 4 when it comes to requests. It's just, if there's a lot of low tier requests, I typically kind of refrain from playing too many of them, especially in one go. Like, I'll space them out. But I do play down to tier 4 when it comes to tank requests. found a wild duck. At least I'm finally at the fight. It only took me the entire frickin' match here.
Enemy armor is hit. Enemy is hit.
That thing's got pretty good armor, but at least... Well, it wasn't facing me, now it is. Hello Andrew, nice to see you. Anything under tier 4, people are, you know, free to request them. That's on a how many tanks I have to play, how much time I have left, and how well, say, I'm doing that stream. I just low tiers. I know like people do like to see them from time to time, which I will play them. It's just I will say anything under tier 4. You know, I might say sorry, I don't want to play that. I might not have a crew for the tank, and low tier matches are pretty unappealing to me, to be honest. They're really, not to say unbalanced, but I don't have fun in low tier matches all that much, honestly. I think World of Tanks, it's glaring, it's basically one of the largest flaws of the game is for new players, they play tier 1 to 3 and even up to 4. And the balance is terrible, and the game's not a good representation of anything tier 5 and up. It's like playing little, like, go-karts with, you know, machine guns strapped onto them. It's not on Steam, no. It's like wargaming games. The developer is Greybox, but it's just like World of Tanks where you download it off their website. They have their own launcher, and yeah. There's super pershing up here. My heavy tanks here. Stay with it, Cody. I'm a little... Honestly, I drank coffee before the stream and during the stream here. I'm a little groggy this morning still. I was up pretty late. Like yesterday was my grandmother's birthday. I had the age wrong. She's 79, not 81. But usually on Tuesdays, it's kind of my day to catch up with everything, like chores around the house, what have you. So after I got back from celebrating her birthday yesterday, I had a bit of stuff to do around the house, and then I stayed up playing Arty to try to complete the T-55A SVG 15 mission and also the Light Tank 7 mission. Probably a mistake to do that, and yeah, I'm a little tired here. The closest I came to yesterday, which I made, honestly, I want to write an article about it if I get time. They made basically a lot of the missions easier for personal missions for SPGs when stun came into play. However, SPG 15, specifically once you get to the T-55A and Object 260, is near impossible to actually complete now because it requires you to have top experience on your team, which, okay, it was like that before. However, you also have to, the secondary conditions to survive, which that's not a big deal. You also have to have your team deal 2,500 assist damage for tanks that you track or stun. The problem being with that is, to get top experience as an SPG, you pretty much have to hope that your team fails and doesn't do that good because you don't gain much experience as an SPG dealing damage. So if your team dishes out 2,500 assist damage for you, there's a almost guaranteed likelihood that you're not going to have top experience because, you know, other tanks are going to have more experience than you because they gain more experience because they're spotting their own damage. You're kind of just like leeching off of them. Case in point, I fired every single round in a match yesterday out of my T92. The match lasted all 15 minutes. It ended up being a draw, but Fired every single round out of my T92. Hit all but, I think, one, maybe 2 shots at most. I didn't do any damage. I dealt 4,000 and about 800 damage. Just a pinch under that. Like, it was like 4,789. And my team helped me with doing about 2,600 assist damage, so not too much over the minimum. I came in second place for experience, and a person beat me out by over 200 experience. He didn't even have like the best game, you know, imaginable, and you know, I was still 200 experience away from the top experience. And then there was an additional 3 people that had about 10 to 30 experience less than me at places 3 through 5, and that's firing every single round out of a T92 and, you know, basically hitting all but 2 of them. It's just near impossible to complete that mission anymore because they added in the assist damage part of it, and with that it makes it, you have to get extremely lucky to where you have to barely hit that minimal 2,500 assist, and then on top of that hope that literally everybody else deals like only 1,000 damage, because even about 1,500 to 2,000 damage for a tank in your match on your team, they're gonna out experience you. So it's just something to where kind of demoralizing trying to do a mission. And then the light tank one, unfortunately, it's kill, or not kill, but spot and damage 3 SPGs, which that's the maximum amount you can see in a battle now. So the likelihood of you actually seeing 3 SPGs is low, but then on top of that, getting a map to where you actually can spot 3 of them and get 1 shot on them is, you know, low as well. To where that one's just down to dumb luck, because you have to be the only one spotting them, plus you have to at least land 1 shot on each of them to complete that mission. Hello Daniel, nice to see you. E25 is a little different though. But yeah, the rest of the RD missions, like I'm pretty sure Wargaming did this somewhat intentionally, but SPG missions 1 through 4, or not 1 through 4, 1 through 14 are actually very easy to do compared to what they were before. However, the last one, and you know, the SPG 15 for the first 2 personal tanks, what is it, the Stug and the T28 HTC, they're within reason. But once you start getting up to the Object 260 and T55A, they're near impossible, which I'm not chasing after here. I won't make it over there in time. They're near impossible to complete just because you need so-and-so assist damage plus top experience, but by reaching the assist damage, someone's going to have more experience than you. So it's just annoying. They are not, Randall. At least not currently. In this patch that just released here, they reworked several missions, but they mainly dealt with non-SPG ones, and they are not addressing, basically, I think all the missions are fine right now outside of SPG 15 and Light Tank 7, which is the only, which, before I hop into here, since I just ran it on about this, so Light Tank 7, spot 3 SPGs, cause damage or critical hits to them. Secondary conditions aren't that important. So that's near impossible to complete. It's all down to luck, what map you get, if there's actually 3 SPGs. Like, I've probably, specifically trying to complete this, have done 50 battles, and I would say 5 or less I actually had a chance with 3 SPGs to complete it. But these 2, you know, they're within reason. And then SPG 15, top experience on your team, plus you have to gain 2,500 assist damage. And that's, you know, pretty hard. Once you drop down to the T28 HTC, 2 SPGs is, you know, that's within reason, because a lot of battles have 2 SPGs in it. About, I would say 50% if you play mid-tier light tanks. And then SPG 15, a little bit more reasonable here, be among the top 3 experience and 1500 damage. Honestly, even if it was just top experience on your team and then 1500 assist, that's, you know, reasonable. That's where I think the T55A should be, where you have to be top experience on your team and only 1500 assists by your teammates, because that's a little bit more, you know, possible to you actually achieving it. It has a lot of talking about missions. Whoop, just spilt aloe juice down that. That's gonna be sticky. You little dog. I did not forget about your tip. Thank you again, Randall, for tipping Levi. All right, I might head up this way. But more or less, it's just a few missions. I mainly ranted about that because they just fixed the missions that they said needed to be fixed, but they left a couple in that intentionally. It's never good to anger, say, your customers. So for wargaming, it's the people that play their game. Where the few missions that are left that I just pointed out, they're annoying for anyone trying to complete them, and not to say they're not challenging, because, you know, they are pretty hard to achieve, but it's not even challenging that they're difficult. It's challenging just being able to have a chance to complete them based off of the matchmaking that you receive. Specifically for the light ones, but the SPG one just as impossible from the way experience is gained with SPGs, because you only get half the experience and credits for most of your damage since you're not spotting it. Maybe I should just start TD moding all my SPG matches. I don't want to pop out too far here. Ashhorn's coming up. Kind of banking on SPGs not direct hitting me right now. That may turn out to be a poor plan. There he is. Run away. Just don't want to push over here because their light can get shots on me. Alright. I just missed him. I would have taken him out. Alright, can someone please help me here with this SU-100Y? It would be ever so kind. Unfortunately, our team's kind of dead right now. I hit him at an auto bounce angle, but yeah, I'm gonna be dead here. Did 1300 damage, especially early on, but when the rest of your team melts, there's not too much you can do. Alright, so on to the VK4502B. I'm trying my best to get through all the tank requests here. Which I don't think, honestly, I don't want to unfriend people in tanks, but I don't think he's getting that sending me messages every 10 minutes is what I'm referencing. But but that's part of my I don't have like OCD, like a bad case of it, but I can't have messages at the bottom blinking. It just bugs me. There's like little things like Brian makes fun of me for it, like say the volume on your radio or your television. I can't have it be like a odd number, say like 11 or 13. It has to be even, like stuff like that. At work, OCD is actually good for me at work, and you know, being a sous chef, everything has to be organized and in place, exactly in place for me to actually function. Yeah, I kind of agree too that personal missions shouldn't be team dependent. Like luckily, the platoon ones are they are difficult doing them solo, but they're not impossible. But I get what you're saying, where they shouldn't have team elements added onto them, that you have to rely on your team. So yeah, like I feel like for the arty ones, the stun, I over angled there. Awesome. Luckily I didn't take the shot there again, but I just feel like the team elements of, like, say the arty missions should be just toned down a little bit. Is this gonna be a heat round thrown at me? Luckily it was not. Yeah, I'm not gonna get lucky again to pen him. Yeah, I have a lot of little things like that, and having messages in my garage be blinking, I always have to click on them, even if I can't say answer them right away. Now he's throwing heat rounds. If you ever see a blue tinge, know that you are getting gold rounds thrown at you. He swapped back over. That was easy. That was yellow. Ah. Hitting me? Oh, my convoy is no longer here. I was a little confused why that... Now he's throwing HE, that's smart. A little confused why that leopard made it that far up, and then I looked back and my TD ran away. Here's the hoping that my team's able to... Alright, that WZ just moved. I just need to point this way. Unfortunately, I have HE loaded here. I really need to swap over to AP, but... I'm fine with being in this tank and kind of being a meat shield. If I wasn't over here, they would definitely push, which guys expecting me to... They just got destroyed on the hill because they rolled out and gotten smacked from the center. If you make it at this tier, or make it up to this tier, like, you should kind of expect that to happen. And unfortunately, our strongest flank, the hill, got taken apart from them not realizing they can get shot from across the map. This is a little depressing when you're... Basically, I went to this flank knowing that I wouldn't get too much damage, but me being over here is kind of necessary, because if I'm not over here, they would have just pushed, killed our RD, our light tank, and pretty much went right through us. Yeah, that's basically what that guy is pointing out. They all went one side on the hill, specifically the side that opened them up to, like, I won't say stuff like that because I'm not rude to people. Basically opened them up to getting shot from other flanks, and they all died, and stuff like that. You know, it annoys me, but you know, I'm not gonna call people out on it because everyone makes mistakes. But usually how I don't rage about matches like you might expect people to do is because I know literally not my fault. It's all on them for making that, you know, little but very damning mistake. By if they had just pushed right down the 0 line, they wouldn't have gotten a shot from the rest of the map as easily. Oh well, but unfortunately that's how it goes. In that tank I wouldn't have been able to go up on the hill. I could have went down the heavy alley, but yeah. Okay, I need to get into the KV-85 here. Yeah, I have some, my mom's side of the family lives not in the Poconos, but within, say, not to say walking distance, but they live within, say, like a half hour of the Poconos. A couple of them. Hello, Marga. The changes to SPGs, Randall, that you're mentioning for this patch, basically for marks of excellence, which, you know, I don't keep too much track of. It wasn't taken into account basically mark of excellence takes into account the damage that you deal and the damage that you assist with. So basically assist damage and damage dealt. For SPGs, you have that 4th damage log here. That's damage that you cause by stunning a tank, but not necessarily, you know, like tracking it, something like that. That was not being taken into account for marks of excellence up until this patch that released today. That they just added that into it. And they also, I believe, bumped up, you earn 20% more credits, I believe. It was either this patch today or the following patch 9.20, but I think it was today, to where you earn 20% more credits, not experience, but just credits for dealing damage in SPGs. But it could be the next patch, I'm not exactly sure. But more or less, it doesn't affect anything as far as how much damage it already deals or anything. Just for mark of excellence tracking and eventually credit earning, because already they nerfed the damage, but they never buffed the earnings, because already earns less credits than other tanks for dealing damage. There are modifiers. Simplicity is any non-SPG. You get 100% credits and experience for damaging a tank that you spot. If you are shooting something that somebody else spotted, you get 50% of both. They get the other 50. For SVGs, it was lower than that, so they're buffing that up a little bit to compensate for the less direct damage that you're dealing in artillery. The camo, I got a funky little camo here. Okay, it's this patch. Thanks, Leith. Yeah, the credit earning is pretty simplistic. It might seem very complicated, and then on top of that, it's just Premium tanks, of course, have a higher modifier on top of standard tanks. But it's really what I just kind of glanced over there. It's pretty simple looking at it from that way. That's why if you want to be really shady at times, if you're in an SPG and someone's spotting a tank for you, if you let it basically get unspotted and you shoot it, I think it's like three seconds after it went invisible again, you get full experience and credits for that because it does not count as them spotting it. You're shooting a tank that's not spotted, and technically you get everything from it. The little cheap trick that, you know, it's definitely not something you want to do often because it's not worth it. You're better off just shooting a tank when you can see it. Can tell your boss, be like, hey, can you pop out Wednesdays from 9 to 12? We are not in a good spot here. Nope. I might chance pushing. But looking at the time I have left here, I'm going to get through the next 2 tank requests, and then I'm going to try to push through some of my grinds. But I probably only have a few matches left here. Need to get here. Don't know if I'll actually get over there, so I'm gonna head this way instead. Just this little hill's not as good for me to set up on. Don't know why that guy pushed through there. I like pushing through the center on this map, but only if you're in a light tank. And that, yeah, pretty much only if you're in a light tank. Ah. Hello, Maxim. Nice to see you in a battle here. Take another crack at the AMX here. This is my problem. There's an archer. I'm gonna gamble. It's probably gonna come back to bite me. Just, I'd like to be able to get over to shoot the Stug E25. It's just I don't want to get spotted myself. Hoping that they start spotting these guys again, but not looking good for me. We're not doing bad, at least. It's just very nice. You got the archer out. There's the 1375 and the Stug. And he's dead. That works for me too. Crap. I wanted to shoot them before they started moving. Hello, Rich B. Nice to see you. Oh, crap. I just spotted him somehow. My view range is atrocious. I don't know how he didn't see me. Or he might have seen me and just not been able to point his gun down enough. Awesome. Take that, E25. I got a little lucky there, I'll be honest. I'll pop up here at the M6 because the TD's most likely... he's a little bit further back than I thought. But I can almost guarantee that he was back there and not up near the E25. Right, little bud? Little buddy. Poor Levi has to wait until next week to get his hair cut. The groomer we like to use them because they're like smaller, and he's really comfortable going there. Most amount of damage in the match though. Sorry Maxim for or no, you're on my team. I thought for a second there's no all chat anymore. Yeah, we can't get him until next week. His hair is getting pretty long for the summer hair. We just can't walk him unless it's like really early or really late, which, sorry guys, I I will read your message after the stream here. I can't today. Hello, Abu Bakar. Wooloo Master. Essentially, there's different ranks for you know, watching the stream. It's based off of hours, unless you have a ton of Levi biscuits, and there's certain. Which, thank you for this subscription, Ab. A ton of Levi biscuits, and there's certain ones that are coin based. Essentially, Wooloo. It's a term. You can Google it. I think it's on Urban Dictionary or something, or another online dictionary. It's from the first game, online game I ever played for PC. It's called Shattered Galaxy. It's still up, but it was the first online MMO RPG RTS. So role-playing game, real-time strategy game. And honestly, I really wish that there is a game like it that comes out, or that would come out, because it was awesome. Think it's basically, to explain it easily, because I don't know if there's any videos. There's probably some videos up on YouTube of the gameplay. It was really competitive, as far as it was built around 3-player control factions, more or less, on a planet, and you fought over territory that were different maps to gain resources, and you'd get rewarded as a faction for basically gaining territory and holding it, and more or less destroying the other faction. And basically it was built off of your character could gain different amount of experience points, and you basically reincarnate it to gain more of them, but you drop back down to level 1, and more or less your character had a certain like weight to it. So you'd be like tier 5 and have stronger units against like tier 2s, but they could add, another team could have more lower tier players on their team to balance it out. But more or less, say it was like 15 versus 15 StarCraft in a way, with a ton of different units and a ton of different configurations without the base building. And you fought over, it was like domination mode, to where they're called POCs, so point of contention, and you fought over them on maps with a bunch of different units that you could respawn in at the cost of points for your team. Such an old game, but it was so complex and in-depth that it was a blast, and there hasn't really been any other MMO like it since. But like, you know, some of the people you see that pop into the stream every now and then, they're in the clan. A lot of people in the clan van are people from that game, to where, you know, the game was, it was special. I wish that there was a game that was like it. There's a game similar to it that was coming out a few years ago, but they canceled it. It was called End of Nations. I think it was called End of Nations, but more or less, like, even in Shattered Galaxy, there was, oh god, I'm spotted by the VK. And I'm dead. I'll hop into another SPG here. I was definitely playing that a little bit on edge. So with the 3-player controlled factions, you actually, once a month, I believe it was, you could elect, like, there was a voting, like an election, to where people could run for, they were called Overlord, and, oh god, this person's on my team, the person at top, but you could run as Overlord and people could vote and elect you, and essentially you got like bonus power-ups, and it was funny. It like said it in the battle chat, like, so and so Overlord has joined the battle or something, and you had like plus 100% like HP on your stuff. It was a blast. Yeah, I take him to the beach every now and again, me and Ryan. We haven't taken him this week just because we've been a little extra busy this week, but he loves the beach. He likes mainly jumping in the water, playing with the little ball we throw in it. Yeah, the game Shattered Galaxy, yes, Marga. There's actually a server still up of it running. There's also a different name for it. It also goes by Tactical Commanders. That was its name that they used over in Asia, but yeah. Honestly, I would, not to say give anything to play a game like it again, but it was definitely a game that I remember wasting many, which I just did 1,000 damage to that poor guy. I wasted so much of my childhood on that game, but it was well worth it. I know. It's that pompous guy. Hopefully he doesn't team kill me. But, oops, I'm still going backwards. Yeah, like, I still remember, like, this was long ago. Like, I was like 12 when I played this game. I still remember, like, my character stats, like my build, essentially, down to the exact amount in each category. I won't list them here because nobody will know what I'm talking about, but yeah. That's where I wish, honestly, I could say code and make a video game myself, because that would be a pretty neat hobby to make a game somewhat like that. Or hell, if I got rich enough to buy the rights off of the company that owns it is Nexon, I believe it's pronounced. So the ones that own MapleStory. I know. Oh, I learned that, Uber, trust me. Honestly, that person and the other person that was with him, they were 100% trolls. I'm surprised. The only reason Wargaming puts up with people like that is they play, esports and stuff like that. That's literally the only reason. Yeah, I've never heard of martial heroes now. Honestly, though, I kind of miss, like say back in the 90s and early 2000s, there was a lot of like unique little like online games. They weren't perfect, but there's just like a charm to them that was fun about them, because they were, they're so different, whereas most games nowadays are kind of all the same in a way. And yeah, where are you going? I guess I'll pop one here. Awesome. 5 critical hits. Holy crap. That guy probably just punched his computer screen. Yeah. If I think it'll help my team, I typically ping T, but which I'm definitely not going to get my SPG mission complete at this one, since I literally don't have any assist damage so far. That's a really chancy shot. It still splashed him. I'm gonna have to look look at the end screen to see how many modules I hurt off of that one Emil. I'm tempted to start aiming north here, but it's pretty important that I get my heavies a moving here. Don't push that way, no. Alright, I've got to aim. Maybe at the Shrev, I can't directly hit him, but I can at least splash him to help this M41 out a little bit. Don't know if I hit him, but I'll start aiming this way now. Let's see. Who do I want to shoot? I'll try for the Scorpion G and see if he's still there. Exactly. He's like, why are you shooting me? Honestly, I'd be shooting the mouse and the other tanks if I put myself south, but I rarely set up on this this side of the map in Arty. But it's worked out so far. 2k damage isn't that bad. After this shot, I should have kept moving up too to get my accuracy a little bit better, but it's just not gonna deal much damage to him potentially. 41, no, I'd like to help him if possible. Oh, whoa, dude. Yeah. Can't help him. Alright, time to move. Why would you ram? Like, he killed him, thank God. Why would you ram something in an M41? Oh God. Luckily he didn't ram him head on. He would probably have died. Honestly, the guy I have blacklisted, he's a bona fide asshole, but at the very least, he's a decent player. Alright. Hey, stop licking your paw. I know, you're mad at me. He's like, treats? No treats. Being a bad dog, and we need to, hopefully we can get him in the vet tomorrow, but he either has something stuck in his paw or it's just a cut. But like, you know how a dog's paw has its pads, one of his pads in between them, there's like probably a grape size, like, not a cyst, but like it almost looks like a giant pimple. We kind of popped it and disinfected it yesterday to try to get whatever it was out, but we need a vet to go look at it. Luckily, he's not limping. It doesn't hurt him that much, but gotta get him checked out because don't want it to become something worse. But alright, match here. Mastery badge 2nd class, Confederate award. He did a pretty damn good job. But again, don't mind him being on my team since he's blacklisted and I can't hear him. Alright, so next up is the FV 183. Ah, nice. I always like getting messages that, you know, it's nice hearing that you guys like, you know, my streams and my videos, guides, stuff like that. Oh, you tipped him another treat? I thought, I'm not downing you. I will tip him again here. Maybe you did. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, Labobo. I thought there was only, so far, 3 tips, and we're at 4 here. Hello, bud. Hey, I won't make you get up this time. He just moved over all puppy, sad puppy eyes over this side. Honestly, though, he's just a little sad probably because it's a little toasty in here. That's why I have the fan on behind me. I'm gonna die at work tomorrow. Honestly, my plan is to shave my head tonight, so don't be surprised if I'm bald next stream. But yeah, but prepare yourself, for anyone who hasn't played yet, for the WZ-111 5A spam. Probably now for quite some time, because for really good players, it's probably, I would say, the best tier 10 heavy tank. Yeah. Like, I won't say that with 100% confidence since I haven't played it yet, but statistically it's probably the best heavy tank at tier 10. Apologize, Levi. Thanks for watching, Brian. And thanks for watching, Denja. Oh, I forgot the meal crits. I'll look after this battle here. Thanks for tipping Levi again, Uber. I'll tip him after the battle here. This is gonna be very, very bad for us. Just looking on their tanks to ours. Just the difference in alpha damage. We need to win the other side, but like usual, your team doesn't push this side from this or push that side from this base. Fortunately, I'm gonna use up my one high explosive round. I don't think they're gonna give me any shots. Wish I kind of loaded it up for the first one. I knew I wasn't gonna have a shot to pen him. Is there anybody on this corner? There is. Take that, Type 5. Fear me. Okay, essentially it's like the tier 9 WZ 111-14, but super buffed. Ah, really? Hey, look, he's throwing heat rounds out, even though, yeah, I'm a little screwed right now. Sorry, IS7, but we got a little damage in. This is just gonna go very bad, very quick for us here. If you kind of get stuck here and you never push into the 0 line or up to like the top of the J line from this side, you're just in this little courtyard area, it's very hard to defend, especially without Artie. But unfortunately, this is just one of those battles where I couldn't go anywhere else in this tank and contribute, and kind of get, you know, you just kind of have to go with the flow. But fortunately, the flow for this match is lose. Doesn't help I just got hit by JP. Yeah. He's still throwing heat. You're such a great player, Buckwheat. He is a good player, but yeah. Get ready to frickin' hate those WZ 111s forever. Yeah, Levi doesn't have any videos up yet. I do have videos for him to upload, but I haven't gotten a chance to do them. It'll mainly be videos of him ripping apart boxes, most likely. Which is pretty entertaining, I must say. I be dead. Take that. I don't even care that we lost as long as I killed you. Alright, little dog. You're getting a big biscuit this time. Hi, I know. Do you want this? See if I can make it in your dog bowl. Nope. But, yeah, we very easily lost that. Let me look at, I was taking a look at the SPG match against the Emil 2. Says I only critted him 5 times, but yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought. So I thought I would have gotten more than just that. Alright, so I'm through tank requests. Did I ever? Yeah, I was about to say I didn't get this grind done. I have so many of these, I'm just popping one off in case I get a decent match here. I'm not even going to answer that. Hello, Divide. Nice to see you. Life's good. How are you doing? I agree. Like, there's a reason I don't stream World of Warships. Like, I do enjoy playing it from time to time, just because it is a little slower paced and it's like a thinking game more than tanks that's a little bit faster paced. But it is a game to where I can't play it that much because it's a little bit slow. That's why I like playing. If I had to pick a game like that, I picked Dreadnought because it's still a little bit slower paced than tanks for most of the ships you play, but there's a lot more layers to it that keep it very interesting. But yeah, I'll probably play this match here, and I might do one more, and that's probably going to be it for the stream today. Since I have to, like Ryan, she's at her dad's right now, but she's coming home somewhat soon, but I have to finish prepping to plant a tree. It's coming tomorrow. I also have to pick the rest of my blackberries. But it's freaking, it's like 94 degrees out right now, and the humidity is just like, the dew point is about 75 degrees. Anybody that knows what I'm talking about, it's, you walk outside and you're like in a sauna. Which, hey, there's another side to this map. Might be the first time you guys ever see me head over here. Might be the last. See you, Andrew, thanks for watching. Yeah, I've only done that a couple times. Mainly when they buffed HE rounds one patch like years ago, to where they increased the chance of you knocking crew out. It'd be like I was playing the M4 Sherman back at time. It was in the early days of when I was playing. The amount of people that you knocked out via crew, they did a emergency patch to fix it. Because every single match there's at least like 2 or 3 tanks you'd knock out via crew knockout. It was, I don't know how it ever got through their testing phase, but it was fun just spamming HE rounds out of the M4 Sherman at people. You couldn't really use gold rounds back then. It was only available for real gold. Blech. Thank you very much, Labobo, for the tip. Say Levi just brought the band hammer down on somebody. I'm not tall enough. Heavy tanks I'm able to kind of peek over and shoot somebody like that, but not in this thing. Even though I don't head out here often, I do know the little spots, which I'm very surprised he's alive. Hello, mobile Fang. Nice to see you. I need to move. I need to move. Yeah. I don't know why I popped back out. He had to, he was up there about a second before I was gonna pop out. Thank you very much, Artie. See if they just spotted me. I was gonna pop out on the other side, and that works. Okay. Oh, that surprisingly worked out. I was thinking I was gonna hit one of the columns. Not the best match, but 1800 damage. Definitely take that. Right, I've made quite a few mistakes, so I'm happy just getting a respect. Oh, he just snapshot at me like no end there. He shoot at somebody else. Nope, he's not. Let's say there are other targets here for you. See if I can sneak in one more. Yeah. I probably should have winged it, but thank you for not turning. At least he said sorry. But still. Like, he could have just... I don't think he knew he could have just run through this, which was the problem. I was expecting him to just go like that, and I should have winged it. Oh well. But did 2400 damage, and I should have just winged it for the end there. Yeah. That's their goal for releasing the new Chinese heavy tank. But I did an alright amount of damage there. Why don't I hop on the trend and I'll pop into the 1-4, since technically it's a grind now. And this is gonna be my last match here. I'm gonna start a raffle here. Go for 5 minutes, and the winner gets... Let's do 1,000 Levi biscuits here. But you type !! raffle. I can change the command. I'm gonna get you guys one day and type reward, like I said last time. But for the person that was banned by Levi, I don't keep my webcam very large on purpose. I could make it a little bit bigger, basically stretch it out to, basically stretch it out a little bit this way. However, I don't think it's, necessary to have a gigantic webcam plastered over a lot of the game. Which, honestly, I did buy. This will make some of you guys happy. I did buy a new webcam. It has a slightly wider field of view, in preparation of potentially trying to stream different content come this fall and winter when I have more time. I'm sure some of you can guess why I need a camera with a larger field of view. So, but I might use that in the meantime in place of this one and see how it looks. But I splurged and got a few things on Prime Day yesterday. Mostly stuff, Christmas shopping. I Christmas shop in the summer, honestly. I'm usually done by the time September hits. But also a couple things to make Ryan happy. Goodbye. Why this thing's so dangerous is you surprise the hell out of people with your alpha being able to get to where most other heavies can't. But which today is actually a special day for anyone who lives in the US. Specifically, you should keep an eye on. Like, I know Amazon, Reddit, Netflix, a lot of big sites are participating in it. It's basically net neutrality, like awareness day, to where they're basically implementing some things that if net neutrality gets repealed in the US, you will start seeing essentially tiered internet packages to where you have to pay a certain amount to access certain websites. Your ISP will be able to essentially throttle your connection based off of, say you play video games. they can throttle your connection down to a certain level, just specifically for video games, unless you pay them, say, an internet for an internet package for gaming speeds for games. So don't be surprised if, say, you stream Netflix tonight, that it's really slow loading, because it's going to impact everything. So they're just today's you know, net neutrality, I forget the specific name they use, awareness, to where if you're annoyed by websites doing it, you're going to be even more annoyed when you're, say, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, Verizon starts charging you to access, say, like Facebook, or, you know, you have to pay even more for data for the internet, like a cell phone. So it's basically like meshing together the worst of cell phone plans in the US, and also the worst of cable packages in the US together, and putting it on the internet. So hopefully people who don't know what I'm talking about, like, not you guys, because I've brought it up before, but like the average person that doesn't even know what's happening, because they're looking to repeal this net neutrality, which is more or less just the internet, everything is treated equally as far as your data. Say you have 100 megabit per second connection. Anything that you connect and receive through the internet is all treated equally, and they can't throttle it or block any website or program that you use. That's basically the gist of net neutrality. They're looking to, you know, basically get rid of that, which pretty much every single company is against it, and anyone that knows what it is basically against it as well. But unfortunately, the head of the FCC that is basically the oversight is against it. So, surprise, surprise. But yeah, the best thing you can do is you know, Reddit has it. John Oliver started it months ago, to where you basically can send a letter to your congressman. You can send one directly to the FCC. If you go to gofccyourself.com, I think it is, or .org, it'll link you over to there. You know, I've already sent letters to my congresspeople and also the FCC. Every little bit counts, which I might actually pop into one more battle here, because I kind of feel like it. The winner, I kind of missed it, is Rich B. Congratulations, Rich, for winning. Why don't I hop into one more match here? I got those 2 grinds done. I'll hop into the AMX 1390. But since I'm doing another battle, why don't we do another mini raffle here? We'll start another raffle for 5 minutes here. Yes, I missed that too. A cooking stream. That's a potential. Like, it definitely isn't gonna be until, like, conservatively, I will say, like maybe Christmas-ish time, if not after, just because it does involve me having to wire through my house to my kitchen. I got one person there. It's exclamation point reward, guys. Come on, get with the program. For anyone that watched last stream, hopefully you remember that. But yeah, this raffle, it's a different command you have to type in. Which I'm actually thinking, a few of you guys have ranks that are based off of Levi biscuits. I might change it now that, you know, I want to change it to where right now I assigned a couple of you guys ranks based off your biscuit totals. If you reach a certain amount, even if you drop below it, it stays the same. But I'm looking to change it just so you guys, you know, you get different ranks every now and again. But there's still going to be some based off of biscuits. It's just Bustbot's a little bug to where once you're assigned something manually, which I did for a couple of you guys, it's kind of stuck there forever. So hopefully I'll have that changed. Alright, I've been going to this spot a lot in light tanks and it's worked out. I was a little hesitant there just because I'm an autoloader. One. Set him on fire, and he has a manual fire extinguisher. Oh, really, guys? I've got to run just because the Emil 1 is clips large enough to kill me. But, like, there's so many people sitting behind me and nobody was spotted. I don't get that about a lot of matches and your teammates. They won't push up, even if it's in their best interest, which I'm definitely going to die here. So I'm just trying to eke out as much damage as possible. So I did 1700 damage very early on. So hopefully that's enough for my team to win. But if you don't spot anything, specifically tanks sitting here, if they had pushed up to this area and my area, they'd all be stuck right back here. With our SPGs on this side, our SPGs can hit them in D1 very easily. And it would have been a surefire 100% chance of winning this flank. That's why, like I said, I've been pushing here in fast tanks frequently now in high tier matches, and it's worked out most of the time. But unfortunately, if your team doesn't push up, yeah. But as far as the Fussbot ranks, though, I kind of asked the guy if there's any way for me to fix it right now without him putting a patch out, but yeah, a few of you guys are stuck with Master of Biscuits, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But yeah, now they're just getting flanked, and that side went from a surefire win to a loss for that flank. It's just a little bit frustrating, but alright, can you please let me scroll through the... I hate the selection still. It doesn't just go right through the list, unfortunately. But mainly wait until the raffle ends here in 20 seconds, because this is definitely my last match of the day. Thank you very much for watching, guys. My next stream is going to be tomorrow, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I'm not, like, heat killed, because it's going to be a hot one in the kitchen. Hottest day of the year so far. And I know I'm going to be pretty busy tomorrow. Thursdays are always busy for me, getting back in the swing of things. Congratulations, it said Rich won again. Huh. You are either very lucky or wait. It didn't give anybody a reward. Uh-oh. That's not good. So I'm gonna do another one for 1 minute. 1 minute and the winner gets Levi biscuits, because it didn't work, that one. So type exclamation point reward again, guys, really quick. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't win. We'll see if it works again this time, but maybe it doesn't like me switching the raffle command. We'll see. But which I lowered the entry thing to 0, obviously. Hopefully next stream, no. The the servers up when it starts, so I won't have to play another game to start out with. But that was a nice little change of pace. So no, it didn't work, huh? Unless Rich is just getting all the biscuits here. All right, so sorry about that. You know, I guess it screwed up when I switched the command around, which I don't know why, because I've toyed with it before and it's worked. So instead, everyone gets 100 Levi biscuits here. One second. There we go. So everyone else gets or not everyone else, but everybody gets 100 Levi biscuits there. But thank you very much for watching, guys. They're spamming the chat for a reason, but anyway, thanks again for watching. Have a very nice day, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. It isn't rigged. It's just it wasn't selecting a winner at the end of the raffle for some reason. Probably because it probably had to do with the command, where it wasn't, nobody entered because the command wasn't functioning for some reason. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys around. Have a nice day.